I'm trying to put these videos together for you a bit at a time because obviously limited storage space. Although the good news is that I've just bought myself the biggest SD card I've ever heard of in my life, which will be added to the pile of things like new glasses because I've sat on all mine. To be brought to Bulgaria by my loving husband in the next week or so. So the reason I'm trying to split it into two is obviously because of the storage space, but also because of the difference in prices. Because I know I've talked before, and lots of people will talk to you about how cheap the property can be in Bulgaria, but you do get what you pay for. There's a couple on Davy's page that are in our village that are under 10,000 levers, so they're under £5,000. But when you see them, you'll understand why they're so cheap. They've been abandoned for years. One of them just needs knocking down and start again, and you'd just be buying the land. There's a lot of stuff that you need to know about buying property and land in Bulgaria and whether it's easy to build on your land and such like. And what I'll do, because I think people are mostly quite bored of listening to me rattle on, is I'll talk about this house. This is the more expensive one. It's 40,000 lev, which works out, I think, around the £18,000 mark, which isn't expensive in the great scheme of things, but I can imagine if you're used to watching videos about Bulgaria, you're thinking, well, I can get one for €5,000. And you can, but you'll have to do a lot to it. So at the end of this video, once you've seen the house, if anybody wants to stick around after that, I can talk to you about what I already know, and it may be imperfect, and I'm sure David will correct me if it is, about buying and building in Bulgaria and the process that you need to go through. So I'll just tell you about this one. Davey and I seem to be working in tandem now, in that he's finding the videos that he's made of some of these places for his friends. But unfortunately, the files are too big to send to me. So I'm putting them up with the photos. And then if you go to @TheTimerman1, that's Davey's YouTube channel, and he's got a video of the one I put up at the weekend and the one I'm going to talk about now, so you can see the difference between the two. So the one at the weekend was 15,000 lev. It had lovely, lovely, big, huge garden, 2,000 square meters. When I go over next week, I'll do a good walk round of my garden. Mine's 1,500, so you can see just how much land that is, because mine feels massive to me. He's also put a video up of this one now, and it is a much bigger house, but that's why it's more expensive. It's a bigger house. It's got a summer kitchen, which is a lovely little bonus, and plenty of outbuildings. The land is slightly smaller. It's around 1,000 square meters. So you'll have to excuse me. I have had a couple of people say the light reflecting off your glasses is distracting, but I don't wear them for vanity. I wear them because I'm blind. So I'm going to have to put them on to read these details for you. So it's 40,000 lev. It is a much bigger house. It's got several rooms. So you walk into a large kind of opening room, like a welcoming room, and there's 5 doors coming off that. 4 of them have been used as bedrooms, and the 5th one leads to a cellar. Now, in Bulgarian terms, a cellar is a storage room. It's not necessarily what we're used to, as in underground. So it might not be an underground room. I'm not entirely sure. It's got lots and lots of outbuildings, and it's got a garage as well, which is a nice bonus. We don't have one of those. We just have a driveway. It's south facing, so you get the sun on it all day long because we're a sunny little village, and it's got a large Bulgarian conservatory. The other wonderful thing about it is it's on Maritza, it's on Davies Road, which means you get that view that I obsessively talk about all the time. In the terms of the land and the outbuildings, as well as the main house, which, like I say, is quite a big house and it's got quite a few rooms, you've got a summer kitchen as well. And these are a typical Bulgarian thing, and people wanted to live in a smaller space. And in our village, quite a lot of cases, the older people, the house has been abandoned and they just live in a very smart little summer kitchen all year round because it's cheaper and easier to keep it updated. So this summer kitchen is a bedroom, a shower room, and a sitting kitchen. It does need some modernisation, but it is completely livable. You could just move into it. It's got the shower room in the summer kitchen. You'd need a toilet. You'd want to put a modern kitchen in. But looking at it, it's in really good nick, really good condition. So I suspect you could just go and live in it, maybe take a chemical toilet or something, and a camping toilet, and do it in your own sweet time. It needs very little actually doing. I don't know about the electrics, but it has been lived in until recently. So it's not like the one that had been empty several years, that I showed you earlier last weekend. So have a look at the photos. If you've got any questions, Davey's your man. And at the end of this video, I will just tell you a few things that I know off the top of my head about buying property in Bulgaria. I've already mentioned the most important one to me, which is the fact that you can't live off sawdust and statinky. You need an income. And if you're renovating, you are going to get what you pay for, and you are going to pay quite a lot of, British prices for renovation materials. I know James is just pricing up external fencing for us at the moment, and it's not ruinous, but it's a good job we've got some money saved up for it, put it that way. Okay, so have a look at the house. At the time of Man 1, if you want to see the video walkthrough. And if you're interested, it's Davey Driver. Get in touch with him. If I can help you with anything, let me know. Enjoy. Hello again. Yeah, looking over those photos then as I was uploading that and rendering, that's a good price for the amount that you get. That is a lot more house than we've got. I think ours was about 28,000 lev. But ours is really small. It's single story. It's kitchen, a bathroom, a little porch conservatory, a living dining room and a couple of bedrooms, whereas that is a lot more room. You also get a lot more in terms of outbuildings, there's some lovely barns on those photos and lovely roof spaces. And there's the summer kitchen as well, which is a really nice bonus. The first house that we wanted to buy in VT had a summer kitchen. And to me, I think they're a great selling point. They're just something a little bit special that you've got on your land that you can make into, a dining area, a summer area, a guest house. You can do all sorts with them. So yeah, I'm just going to finish off rabbiting on at you by saying a couple of things that I learned about the process of buying in Bulgaria. The first one being that prices are generally negotiable. So the prices that the sellers are asking are usually what they would hope to get on when the wind's blowing in a good direction. If it says firm price, they really mean it. The majority of prices are negotiable. If you decide to go with an estate agent, and there are some really good estate agents in Bulgaria, be aware that they have a slightly different system to the system we have in the UK, in that both the buyer and the seller pay commission to the agent. So be prepared for the fact that in a lot of cases, you will be paying some commission for your purchase. On top of that, you do need to open a company if you're British. That company is a non-trading company. You, yourself, and whoever you go in with will be equal partners in it, and you will need a notary to do that for you. I think we got ripped off on ours because we were completely green and inexperienced. I think ours cost about €400. That was including the price of the translator and setting up the company bank account. I think you can probably get it significantly cheaper than that. Unless you are fluent in Bulgarian, you will need to pay the price of a translator to do all these things for you. To set up your bank account, to be there when the notary sets up your company documents. And that generally takes about 48, 72 hours. And within 3 days, you are the proud owner of a company. Chris and I own one. We have an equal share of 1 lev each in it. And we like to have our annual board meeting on Christmas Day. So once you've got all that set up, another thing that I didn't realise, and I still haven't got around to closing it, is that the company bank account that you set up will be set up so it charges you a monthly fee. So as soon as your purchase is completed and you've done all your paperwork, close it down again. Ours is in Yambol, which is hundreds of miles away from where we actually live. And Carrie's tried to shut it down at the same bank in a different branch near us, and they were having none of it. They were just like, no, you've got to go back to Yambol. And I can't face going. At some point, I'm going to have to go, and I'm going to end up owing them an accumulation of fees that I am going to have to bite the bullet and pay. So on top of your purchase price, you've got to think about your, you know what, my washing machine's going crazy right now, and if it's interfering with this, I'm going to scream. You've got to think about your notary fees for a translator, setting up a bank account. There's also a kind of purchase tax. So they ask for a small percentage of what the house is worth as a government tax. It's not usually a lot, but again, it's something to be aware of, that you might have to pay an extra few hundred lev on top of what your purchase price is. And then, of course, you've got your building materials and such like, if you are renovating fully. So the way it generally works in Bulgaria is that you get the deeds to the property, and they have on them the outline of what buildings are there. You can knock down and build on the original blueprint, but if you want to extend or completely change the, where you're putting your house or something on your land, you do need to apply for permission for that. So again, you will need a translator to put those documents in for you. I can recommend an excellent one in our village, obviously. So you might have that to think about as well. I think some people say, well, just build upwards, because if you're building upwards, then you're still on the original blueprint. Just be aware that if you want to change it completely, and you're buying something for a couple of thousand lev because you're just buying it for the land, you're going to have to apply for permission to change the building from its original status. municipal tax is super cheap. It's one of the draws of Bulgaria for people. So Carrie's just emailed me with mine. And bear in mind, I've got 2 plots. I've got the plot with the house on it and the plot that's the woodland as well. It's going to cost me 156 lev this year for my council tax. Your electric, your water, etc. is significantly cheaper than they are in the UK as well. So yeah, you need to set your company up. You need a translator unless you happen to be lucky enough to be completely fluent in Bulgarian. You will need the service of a notary. But it's incredible how fast you can buy a house in Bulgaria. You know, you can do a purchase in 3 or 4 days, a week, because there's no fuss or anything like that. When we bought ours, I remember my mum saying, "But you will have a structural survey done, won't you?" And it's not really a thing that happens. You just kind of take your chances, have a good look over it, get a builder in to have a look at it and give you an opinion if you're worried about the structural soundness of it. But like the idea of a surveyor coming round and giving you a valuation or a structural survey is quite alien to them in Bulgaria. So it's not something that you'll find very easily. So yeah, I hope that helps. Later on, maybe at weekend, maybe before that, depends how busy I am with job number 2. I will see Davey about putting up the 2 super cheap ones in our village. I don't feel like I can go outside our village because, you know, those posts are not by us, they're by other people. Or if anyone's desperate for me to rattle on about their house, I'll be happy to do so. As I said, I'm in love with the sound of my own voice. So, yeah, if you are interested, I'll say it one more time for the people at the back. At the time of man 1, Davey Driver, he's your man. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Speak to you soon. Bye.